In this video I am going to explain about the accessing controls. Okay, just I am accessing controls in the shift programming language. So just I created one sample application here. Okay, just I am giving the brief introduction about the accessing specifiers. So in the shift programming language there are 5 types of accessing specifiers. Okay, so one is private, and another one is file private, internal, public, and open. So private means so they able to access if you declare any constants or variables with the private accessing control, the accessing scope will be within that file on within that class only, not file, within that class. And file private means if you declare any variable or constants with a file private accessing control or specifier, those variables and constants we can able to access within that file only. So internal means anywhere in the project, but we cannot use the outside of the project. Public, so public means same project and outside of the project, and open also same project and outside of the project. Okay, so the here the main difference between the public and open, if we declare any class with a open means for the other project which is imported to your local project, giving the accessing permission to other project, creating instance, or you can do inheritance also. So let's suppose if you have one project, you are adding one more project on the top of that project. So when you want to execute if you want to execute a few tasks from other project, you need to import that, like just like kind of UI kit, right? UI kit framework. Similarly, so everything I will try to show in the practical. Okay, everything I will try to show in the practical. Just I created one sample application here. Here I am creating one shift file here, saying that accessing control shift file. Okay. Here I am giving as a class name also same. Accessing controls. So we will declare all the functions with all type of accessing specifiers. Func so private function. Okay. Private function. I will specify this with a private. Okay, accessing. Similarly, I will create for other functions also. Okay, another one is file private function, file private function. Internal function, internal. So I am giving the name also same for better understanding. Okay, so when we explain, right, we take it as a simple things. So that is the reason I am taking these function names to better understanding purpose only. Okay, open function, open function. Similarly, I will take as a more is public, right? Public function, okay. So I'm trying to print the same function name in the print statement for all methods. Okay, print internal function. So I hope this is correct. Okay, so these accessing specifiers, right, we can specify the for functions. Okay, so functions, right, so same accessing specifiers we can use for the constants or the variables. Okay, for those also we can use this. So just I am declaring again private where private variable where just I'm trying to store the string here. Okay, just I'm giving a shift. Okay, here file private where file private variable. So file private variable I'm storing the programming. Okay, and similarly internal where internal variable I'm giving as the same internal variable. Okay, and public where is equal to value I'm passing open open variable and open variable. Okay, so one thing is confirm, accessing specifiers will be we can apply for functions and for variables also. Now I'm creating one instance here. I will show how many I am able to access inside the view control function view deducted. Okay, in the view deduct here I'm trying to create the instance of the accessing control. Object is equal to accessing controls. Okay, so here, right, so whatever the functions or variables if you want to access, okay, so first we need to create the instance of this, then only we will able to access those functions and variables. Okay, now what I'm trying to do here, I'm creating the instance of accessing control class. See, object dot, first I'm trying to execute the private one. See, private one it's not able to access. If forcefully we try to access, you will get the compile time error. See, just I forcefully trying to invoke this. See, you will get the compiler. Private function inaccessible due to private protection level. So it is clearly saying we can't access this function outside of this class. Okay, that is one thing. And other things we are able to access. See here, object dot internal function, yeah, no error. Object dot file private, object dot internal open function, and object dot and public function. Okay, and one more is there, right, file private. Okay, object dot, we'll see this file private also we will able to access or not. File private function, okay, file private function also I'm trying to access here. See here when I build, okay, so these two, right, so I am not able to access this. Okay, so this due to this its protection level. Okay, this is expected, this is correct. Okay, so the private, the accessing scope will be within the class only, within that class only private variables or private function we can able to access. File private means within that file, I will come to that. Okay, so I think first we'll discuss about the private. So I think private is clear, right? Private is clear. What if I'm creating extension for this same? Okay, I'm creating the extension okay, the extension, right, the extension I'm creating one more method, test accessing controls. Okay, inside this function I'm creating the, I'll create the instance. Anyway, whatever we are trying to access should create, okay, instance, and we'll try to access this. Here I created one instance and trying to access those. Okay, object. Here is it possible to access the private function here? No, we cannot access the private function inside the file with the extension. Okay, build file. Okay, just I'm commenting this so that oh, we are able to access here this here, and wait about the private variable here, print statement object dot private. Okay, here we are able to access those private things inside the same file. And what about file private? Okay, so now file private, obviously within that file actually you can able to access file private function. Okay, and object of file private variable. Okay, so no error, because the file private means within that file you will able to access anywhere. Okay, so let's assume that if you create the extension outside of this file, let's assume that here just I'm cut this, moving to the view controller. Here inside the view controller file, not inside the class, in this file I'm trying to create the extension of the accessing control I'm trying to access. See here I got all errors. So if it is within the same file, yes, it will allow you to access either private or file private. Okay, private function, private variable. Okay, what happened? Test close. What happened? Okay, here the view controller. Okay, so just I'm trying to comment this. Okay, then move to here. here no error. Okay, see here with the extension with the same file we will able to access. So what we are trying to access: private function, private variable, file private and file private variable. Functions and variables we will able to access file private things. Okay, so if you, same thing if you do other file, if you do other files, just I'm commenting here, the view controller I'm trying to access here, it won't allow you to access. Anyway, already private it won't be, and file private also it won't be. Okay, so can we see others here? Object of internal function, print object of internal variable. Okay, object of public function, print object dot public variable. One more is open. Okay, object of public, right? So public already we done. Open function. Okay, function print object of variable. See, when I build this, only it's showing the compile time error. They getting 4 errors. 1, 2, 3, 4. File private, public, private is required actually. So the accessing scope is not there. That is the reason it is not listed. Private variable. Okay. See, so here we are understanding that. So private, file private with the extension another file. Extension with the another file, it won't work out. So other things it will be work out. I hope you got some bit idea about the file private and file private accessing scope. Okay, so I hope here it's clear, private and file private. Now internal. So internal, what I am trying to say, internal. So internal anywhere in the Swift programming language by default, so internal only. So means if you are not specifying anything here, where f name is equal to 40, so internal, this is the internal, this will be accessed within the project anywhere function test internal function. Okay, so this accessing scope will be inside the project anywhere. Okay, by default it is internal. I hope 3 are okay now. Now moving on to the public and open accessing specifiers. So here what I'm trying to say here, so public also, if we declare any variable or constants with the public accessing specifier, those constants are able to access outside of the project also. So now outside, where I'm saying the outside of the project. So I have one project. To check this, we need to create a one more project. Okay, just I'm trying to create a one more project. Just I'm trying to explain in the practical manner so that it will be very clear. So most of the interview, they will ask what is the difference between the public and open. Okay, this is exactly I'm trying to show in the practical. So here in the project I'm creating a new project, selecting the framework, name it as a my framework. Okay, my framework. This is as your wish based on our requirement. So this is the framework which I created. Super. I'm changing this version. Here I'm creating some files here. Okay, I'm creating few classes. Okay, shift file. I'm naming as a open class. Okay, one thing, and I will create one more shift file saying that public class name is user defined. Just for understanding I'm giving this. Okay, and one more file taking as a class name internal. Okay, these three files are created. Okay, so one is internal, so classes name also I'm giving the same for understanding. Internal CLS. Okay, internal CLS, and here class public CLS is a class, and open, one more is open. Class is a keyword, open CLS. Okay. Here, so now this is another project. This project I wanted to access here. To create the instance of this class, first we need to create the constructor with the public, init method with the initializer with the public. Okay, for every class. So now I'm doing public init initializer. Just it is initializer. Public, correct, public init method. So now means we are giving the permission to create the instance of these classes outside of this project, means in this project. Okay, inside this project obviously it will create. Okay, now I will add few methods here. Okay, can use the same methods also here, not an issue. Just I'm doing copy here for time saving purpose. I'm doing copy. So here what I will do, I will to make it okay, I will to make it understand, just I'm giving with the _1 to differentiate with local project and another project. Okay, so here I have all methods in the public class, and for open also I will take one. Anyway, with the class instance only we will able to access, so that we can to know which method is got executed. So now everything is ready. Now just I'm make sure building this. Okay, so there is no error. Okay, now I'm closing this. Okay, now I'm closing this. Now I will drag and drop now I will drag and drop my project to AccessingControl here. Save. I'm giving that accessing controls demo as the same as my project name. So this one where I am to saving this inside the AccessingControl. I'm trying to save inside the AccessingControl. Okay, so this is a error, this is expected only. So once we add the another project to this project, so there is a one XSC file got created. Okay, I'm closing that. Set that document column. See here, accessing specified workspaces got created. So we should open that file. Okay, now error is gone. First step is we created the one other project and with the few methods. Okay, now here to make to establish the connection between those two, select the original project. Okay, select the original project, move on to the select the targets, frameworks and libraries, use my framework, add. See, my framework is got added. Now the connection established between these two projects. Now, so my framework, this is the different project. This project having some classes and methods. Now I wanted to access, or I wanted to use those functions or classes inside my original project. Okay, moving on here, the view controller, right? In the view controller, just I'm commenting this. I hope this private, file private, internal got clear. So everything I'm commenting here. We'll make the changes in the view did load so that it won't be confusing. So to accessing those classes and method, first we need to import this. So that's what exactly I'm doing here. My framework. Okay, I'm building. Okay, fine. Till now, nothing. Now I'm trying to create the instance of the internal class. Okay, we will see whether we are able to create or not. Let internal object is equal to the class is available here, right, inside this framework. When you build this, so accessing scope is internal, we can't access outside of this project. So internal. Okay, now if we specify this public and this is for open. Okay, build. So anyway, so here, right, we can't create. So internal will be within the project only, the accessing scope for the internal within that project only. Now I'm trying to create the public object. See, happily I am able to create the instance. Right, I'll create the I created the instance. It got success. Public dot open and public, two functions only. So in the public class I have private, file private, internal and open. So these two only able to access, means outside of the project also open and public is accessible. Okay, see, public function, open function. So happily just I'm trying to execute also. Okay, so the expectation is public class, right, it will print this open function underscore one public function. Yeah, correct, super. Now public is clear. Now I'm trying to create I'm trying to create for open. Let open object is equal to open class open object dot. So see here also two things able to access, right? Super. Okay, I'm trying to execute. Expectation is same. Okay, same. Super. Now it will be a variable or anything. Now the main difference between these two, okay, the main difference between these two is, let's suppose you have one class here saying that I'm giving a my class name is my class. Here public class, okay, you're trying to inherit my, see, public class to my class. So inherit it won't support public. Okay, see, it is saying cannot inherit from the non-open class name outside of the defining module. Okay, so the inheritance it won't support the public. Okay, public accessing specifier. Just change to open class. Okay, just trying to build the same. Super, build got success. That is the main difference. That's what I'm trying to explain the definition. If we declare any class with open means that for other project which you imported locally, giving the accessing permission to others, creating the instance, or you can do inheritance also. Okay, you are able to create the instances and inherit also here for open. For public, if you give accessing control as a public, if you want to give accessing permission to other project for creating the instance but not inheritance, yeah, here when I create the class itself, I am saying to the compiler, yeah, you can create the instance, you can use the methods, you should not use the inheritance if I give this framework to other project. I hope all accessing specifiers are clear in this video. If any doubts, please do comments. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you so much.